This is the OEM shifter in my Honda Civic Si. This is my Hybrid Racing shifter. It has a little less play. And this is the Acuity shifter. This thing is super stiff. Yo, what's up guys? Acuity just dropped a new short shifter for the 8th Gen Honda Civic Si. And I'm going to be comparing it to the Hybrid Racing short shifter. This is the version 3 Hybrid Racing short shifter. And it came out in late 2016. And over here we got the Acuity short shifter that just came out last week. So February 2023. We got the version 3 3-way adjustable hybrid short shifter. You can adjust the height of the shift knob, the length of the throw, and the length of the gate. Now these are two completely different designs. You can see the Hybrid Racing has two very thin springs, whereas the Acuity has a really big, thick spring. To make your adjustments on this shifter, you're gonna need a 17mm and a 12mm wrench. You'll have to break loose this locking ring first, and then you use the 12mm to make your adjustments this way. On the other hand, the Acuity shifter is very simple to make your adjustments. All you need is one tool, which is a 5mm Allen wrench. Bam! And it slides in and out just like that. No twisting. It's easy to access even if it's installed on the car. The Hybrid Racing doesn't have any markings or indicators on your adjustment, so you just pretty much eyeball it. The Acuity shifter actually has markings all over this thing. Everything is labeled, so this tells you it's your throw adjustment. This is your gate adjustment right here. And overall, the shifter looks really well put together. There's no welds. I assume this is CNC machined, so you get a precise and consistent finish on all of their shifters. Whereas on the Hybrid Racing, on the bottom bracket, there's a lot of welds everywhere. Some are fat, some are thin. There's some splatter going on. It's not terrible, it just doesn't look as nice. So as far as build quality goes, I would say Acuity takes the cake on this. And one thing I want to know about the Hybrid Racing shifter is when you want to adjust your shift knob height, you don't need a 17 or 12mm wrench. Instead, you'll use a 5mm Allen key. And it's really hard to make this adjustment. This is really tight and it makes a loud popping noise. This comes loose, but if you wanted to raise it up, you would have to kind of hold it in place and tighten it like this. Ugh. And there you go. That's how you adjust the shifter on the Hybrid Racing. The Acuity uses a 5mm Allen wrench on all three adjustments, so you don't need different tools to make different adjustments. All you do is break it loose, like so, and it's easy to adjust, just like that. No loud pops, no wrestling. Boom. Next, the install. You might not think there's a big difference on the install, but on my Honda Civic Si, I have OEM cables, and the Hybrid Racing actually sat pretty flush with the mounting points, and so it was easier to install. But with the Acuity shifter, even with this thick base, there was still about almost 2-finger gap between the bracket and the mounting points. And so you would have to strategically line up the hose and bolt it down. But as far as installation goes, it'll have to go to the Hybrid Racing. Oh, and I forgot to note, if you want to extend the throw on the Hybrid Racing, when you extend this all the way out, it shortens your throw, and that's what a lot of people want, right? Well, on the Hybrid Racing shifter, you would have to cut a piece of your center console if you want this to be at the max setting. And on top of that, if this is too far extended, it's gonna hit the mounting bolt right here. So you have to get it just right so it'll clear that bolt, and you have to cut a piece of your center console. But on the Acuity, you can have this all the way extended and it's not gonna hit nothing, and you're good. All right, time for an actual test. In this test, I'm gonna be comparing the gate and the throw of each shifter. Left and right for gate, up and down for throw. I'm gonna measure the gate spacing on the lowest setting and the highest setting, and the same for the throw adjustment. Also gonna be at the lowest and highest setting for each shifter. Now, why would you want to adjust your throw and your gate? With your gate and throw adjustment too narrow, it increases the chances of you misshifting. Because yes, you can shift a lot quicker, but there's also a higher risk of you going into the wrong gear. Especially if someone else new drives your car and they're not used to your shifter feeling, there's a good chance they might mess up your transmission. Hopefully not. All right, I have all of my measurements laid out on the table. The outside measurement is going to be Hybrid Racing. The inside measurement is going to be Acuity. I'm going to start off with measuring the throw. The throw is just the distance your shifter is going to travel all the way up and down. So in green, this is going to be our shortest distance for the throw. And in red, this is going to be our longest distance for the throw. And it looks like we're at about 52.2 millimeters for Hybrid Racing and 58.6 for the longest throw. Acuity is at 48.4 and then 60 millimeters for the max setting. Next, we'll compare the gate adjustment. Gate is when you move your shifter left and right while it's in neutral. Hybrid Racing is at 44.8 and maxes out at about 51 millimeters. Acuity is at 38.3 and about 42.9. Even at the widest setting, it's still more shorter than the Hybrid Racing at its lowest setting. So based on these numbers, you can see that the Acuity has a lot more room for adjustment on the throw versus the Hybrid Racing. And the gate adjustment on the Acuity is much more shorter than the Hybrid Racing. So with the Hybrid Racing and Acuity both set at the lowest setting, the Acuity is 4.1 millimeters shorter. And with the gate adjustment, the Acuity is 6.5 millimeters more narrow than the Hybrid Racing. So based on my results, it appears that the Acuity has the lowest throw and the lowest gate. All right, and now my final thoughts on the shifters. So when I initially installed this Acuity shifter, I played around with the adjustments, and to be honest, they both feel pretty much the same. I mean, the difference is so minimal. The Acuity is only 4 millimeters shorter on the throw and 6.5 millimeters more narrow on the left and right movement. The difference is so minimal that, in my personal opinion, I don't think it really matters. But the one thing that I really noticed was when I would put the shifter in gear, I noticed that the Hybrid Racing had more play while you're in gear. So there's a lot of left and right movement, whereas on the Acuity, it's very stiff. The left and right movement is very minimal. You would have to apply extra force to get that same movement or play like the Hybrid Racing. So the Acuity shifter definitely feels more stiffer or rigid. When I first got the Hybrid Racing shifter, I didn't really care about the random weld spots and the messiness going on down here. But now that I got the Acuity and looking at it side by side, the Acuity has a much better finish. It looks a lot cleaner and it just feels more heavy duty. I really like the markings on the Acuity shifter. They even tell you the torque specs on all of the screws. So overall, the Hybrid Racing shifter it's nice. I really like the color, but the Acuity is just an upgraded version of the Hybrid Racing shifter. Because yo, if you didn't know, the lead engineer at Hybrid Racing actually left and went to Acuity. So Acuity is pretty much the upgraded version of Hybrid Racing, technically. Just saying. But that's pretty much it, guys. At the end of the day, these are both short shifters. They do the same thing. The differences are very minimal. But if you have the Hybrid Racing and you're thinking about upgrading, I would say it's definitely a good upgrade. I'm going to be posting this for sale right now. So if you want to buy this off my hands, hit me up. Hit me up on Instagram and I'll send you the details. But alright guys, if you enjoyed this comparison video and you want me to compare something else, leave a comment down below and I might consider doing another comparison video on another car part. We'll see. See you guys in the next one. Deuces.